This van is way too empty. Let's fill this van up with stuff. Oh, that was easy. Gloves not for sale. Hello friends, and welcome to another video. I'm John from Saleosaurus, and this time we are vending at Louisiana Card Con over at the Castine Center in Mandeville, Louisiana. I filmed quite a bit of footage of myself setting up the booth, and I hope you enjoy that. But before we set up, we gotta unload the van. Gotta get all of this stuff that I brought from my house. We gotta get it from the van into the building and then onto the table. Now, this isn't anywhere near the amount of inventory I'd bring if I were vending, say, a toy show like STCC or Showcase Comic Con. You'd see stuff stacked all the way to the ceiling. You know, you gotta cram in as much as you possibly can. But for this event, all I had was one 8-foot table and some of the space behind the booth. It's kind of left ambiguous. Some people use a lot more than others. But, you know, I feel like I could easily get away with one shelf, so that's what I went with. Loading into the Castine Center is generally quite easy, and it was even easier than normal. I got there pretty much right at the beginning of setup time, and I was not alone, but there wasn't as many people as I would have expected to. Now, I've missed vending the last several of this show that has been put on, but I kind of got a bee in my bonnet that I wanted to give it another shot. I never brought toys to any of the other events, and so this time around I brought a couple of large bins full of assorted toys, and well, it ended up paying off for me, and that's great. The only concerns I had going into this event was, well, I was vending it by myself, so I didn't have anybody to cover my space, and I was also a little worried that I wouldn't be near anybody that I knew. You're gonna notice I move very quickly, and I didn't speed this footage up at all. This is just how fast I move. Now, in my opinion, a tablecloth is a really nice, easy thing that you can add to your booth that makes your table stand out from the others. And we've had these adorable woodland critter tablecloths for quite a long time. And I don't see us replacing them anytime soon, you know, as long as I don't spill anything on them or accidentally slice them up with a knife or something. Of course, this being a card show, the overwhelming majority of my booth was these vintage wax packs and other, you know, non-sports cards. I feel like that's kind of become my trademark at these shows and at other shows too. You know, I'm the only one who's bringing Gremlins and Garbage Pail Kids and Jurassic Park and all the other goofy properties that you may or may not remember from your childhood. Another new element of the booth this time around is the card rack that you can kinda see all the way on the far end of the table. Over the years, I've accumulated quite a few random packs that I either don't have enough of to fill an entire box, or I just don't have a box to put them in. And man, this card rack ended up working great. You're gonna see some better footage of it here full of packs in just a few minutes. One element that I think is pretty important for a toy booth, especially in a convention as large as this one, is to have some billboard items. That's what my friend Trey calls them. And so I brought these large Star Wars helmets to put on top of my shelf, hopefully to drag people over who may not have stopped at my booth otherwise. Now, one thing I think I could have done better is display these action figures in the packaging just a little bit more clearly. You can see I have them turned sideways on that bottom shelf. I think it was really easy for them to get lost amongst all of the other visual noise in the room and even on my table. So, maybe next time I'll figure out a better solution for those. It's always hard to predict which items will be popular and what type of items the crowd will be looking for. So I just kind of brought a greatest hits selection, the characters that everybody's heard of. Optimus Prime, Superman, Joker, Darth Vader, Blade, Thor, stuff like that. And I would say for the most part, the toy selection worked pretty well. Things that didn't sell that I kind of thought were a no-brainer were a bunch of very cheap fake Labubu's, these Animal Crossing plushes, and the little Niffler from Harry Potter. I just figured those would be no-brainer impulse buys, but I don't think anybody was interested. Is Labubu dead? Y'all let me know. So I got done setting up my booth pretty quickly, and I thought, oh, look at this, I have plenty of time to go around and check out some of the other booths, but unfortunately I had forgotten something completely essential, and I had to beat feet home, and I just barely made it back in time for the show to open and the crowds to pour in. All in all, I'm quite happy with the way my booth looks. I think everything looks amazing and, it just draws you right in. Of course, I'm biased by that, so I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Now here is a spin around from inside the booth. That's where I spent the entire day on the first day of this show, on the Saturday. I did not get to leave at all, so this is the best view I can give you of the convention center. It was full of people pretty much up until the last hour, where things always drop off at every show. But let's walk around the perimeter of the show. This is Sunday morning before most of the vendors were finished resetting up their booths, so there won't be as much activity as you might expect. I assure you that once the doors were open and the customers were there, this place was hopping. As always, this was a fantastic show, very well run, organized, just honestly no complaints when it comes to the people who put it on. If I did have to complain about anything, it would be the prevalence of AI images. It felt like almost every booth besides mine was just covered head to toe in these really generic and kind of ugly AI images. Obviously, ugly is subjective, and if people like that, then I guess who am I to say differently? There was a nice variety of booths there. Of course, most of it was trading cards, sports cards, Pokemon, Magic, other CCGs like Naruto, One Piece, and Lorcana. Not a lot of non-sports cards, which I guess worked out in my favor. There was a fair bit of fidget slop, you know, the sensory toys, the squishies, the dumplings, the Neatos, and all of that, and quite a bit of plush too. Had some very funny things happen that I oversaw as I was at my booth. One was a small child carrying one of the largest binders of cards that I've ever seen. He lost control of the binder and it brought him down with it. I also had tons of absolutely delightful customers who were just so excited to see the old cards that I had. There was a tiny little child, this little girl, who came running up and pointed at a pack of cards with Boba Fett, and she just yelled at the top of her lungs, "Boba Fett." And yes, that little girl got a free pack of cards. There was a woman who was very excited about the New Kids on the Block cards, and after she paid me and turned around to walk away, I noticed that there was a dog in her purse. And on top of that, the little purse had the name Little Beast embroidered on the side of it. That was delightful. I also saw a young man who couldn't have been more than 12 wearing a Creed t-shirt. Maybe the kids are going to be all right. Here's a couple of my friends' booths, GBS and Pickin' and Grinnin'.
Am I being recorded?
Yes, sir. You always look cute.
These fellas checked in with me multiple times throughout the weekend just to make sure I was doing all right. Really appreciate those guys. Wouldn't have been the same without them. Now this is just about the end of my walk around and also of my footage here, but please stick around because you gotta see what I brought home. And while it wasn't a huge haul, it was a good one. Thanks for watching this video about my vending experience at Louisiana Card Con. I went into this show kind of not knowing what to expect. I'd vended at it a couple times before, and you know, I had a good time, but maybe not the most profitable time. Always great people, really fun to just hang out with other people who love cards, and I wasn't sure what to expect, so I was very pleasantly surprised with how much stuff I sold and how excited people were about the packs that I had for sale, and you know, even the toys that I brought sold quite well. So overall, just a really great experience. And here's the stuff that I brought home for myself to hang on to and keep. Well, which is to say, I'm gonna open these packs eventually, and you know, they won't exist anymore. The only downsides that I'll say about this convention was that I just didn't find a whole lot of things that I wanted for myself, and that's kind of always the case when you're going to a card show, because these days a card show basically means modern sports cards, modern Pokemon cards, maybe some modern Magic cards, and then if you're lucky, some vintage sports, Pokemon, and Magic, kind of in that order. Of course, I'm leaving out One Piece and Naruto and Lorcana and all the other assorted card games that people are popping in and out. Oh, even Riftbound, that's a new one that I'm starting to learn about. But you know, they're not really focused on the non-sports cards and the toys and stuff that I collect myself. But that doesn't mean that there's not cool stuff to be found as is evidenced by this awesome haul that I got from my buddy Sean over at GBS Collectibles. So let's look at what I brought home, and then let's open a pack. So first up, we got Adventures in Toon World. I have no idea what this is going to be. I assume this is sort of loosely connected to like Space Jam and that time period. We got a couple packs of what I believe to be Korean Jurassic Park cards. Silent Giant. We got this beautiful Spinosaurus on the cover. I got 2 packs of those. Might have to go back for more. Then we got 3 different packs of this Nike? I think it's Nike, Goddess of Victory. We got this white one, which he said was mostly like hologram type things. Don't know what I'm getting into here. Got another Nike and another Nike. But the final pack and probably the most exciting one out of all of them is this classic WWF wrestling cards. Who made this thing? Who is this? Oh, it's one of those packs that's like impossible to read. Let's see, what do we got? I guess it's just Classic Games is the brand. 1990. Cool. Well, I've actually never seen these cards before, or at least this pack, so I guess when I open it, we'll find out if I've seen the cards. So overall, had a really great time vending at this show, and I got to hang out with some really cool people, and I made some money. That's always nice. So I definitely will be at the next one of these that happens at the Castine Center. They've been doing these many times a year. I forget exactly how many events they're planning. I guess I'll put up their schedule here in front of this pack. They've been alternating between the Castine Center in Mandeville and the Lamar Dixon over in Gonzales. That one's a little bit farther away from me, so maybe I won't vend at that one, but just being able to drive like 20 minutes and set up and, make some money, have a good time, hang out with other card folks. I feel like that's kind of a no-brainer for me. But, maybe tune in next time to see how that goes. All right, let's open this pack. Okay, right off the bat, we got the Ultimate Warrior. I really loved this guy as a kid. And, immediately I don't really recognize these cards. They don't look super familiar. I wonder if maybe they were unlicensed back in the day. Doesn't say copyright WWF or anything. We got Titan Sports and Classic Games down there. He's from Parts Unknown. He's got the Intercontinental title. And his fearsome appearance from war paint and war pendants are his unusual characteristics. I would say that maybe just the beginning for the Ultimate Warrior. We got Smash Demolition, I think from a tag team, right? We got the Hulk. I loved the Hulk when I was a kid. We got Andre the Giant, unproblematic fave. Like, what an awesome dude. Gigantic, amazing wrestler to watch. Just what a cool guy. We got Jimmy, Superfly Snook, or it was Superfly Jimmy Snuka, right? That's our Snuka? I don't know. Snooki? Is he related to her? I'm not sure. We got the Bushwhackers. I remember loving those guys. Kind of inexplicably, they're just some bizarre dudes. Can you imagine committing to the bit where you have to make that face every time you're on camera? But hey, I appreciate you for it, Bushwhackers. Oh, we got the Honky Tonk Man. Does he not have his... Oh, it blended into the background there. We got the Honky Tonk Man, that guy. I wasn't a huge fan of him as a kid, but I can definitely appreciate him now. Got the Rockers. Let's see. Haku. I had that one a little bit familiar, but I don't remember a whole lot about him. We got the Big Boss Man standing on somebody's chest, just like a cop, There's Jake the Snake. Oh, I loved that guy. Miss Elizabeth. This pack is stacked, I gotta say. This has been, like, I think the least known for me is probably the Rockers so far. Now, hopefully we get a Macho Man to go with Miss Elizabeth. Okay, well, that's still pretty good. We got Hot Rod, Rowdy Roddy Piper. I think I got one more card here. Oh, no, we got 2. Mr. Perfect. Everybody loved to hate that guy. And then we got a Hulk rules. What is the situation here? Is it just... Okay, this is kind of a lame card, I gotta say. All the rest of them were really cool, but this one, I feel like it's kind of ruined by the fact that it has all this copyright stuff and like nothing else going on. But hey, you know, aside from this last card, what an awesome pack to get to open there. Thanks again, Sean, for the deal on that, and you know, just for being a good friend. Let's see. All right, let's hold on to. Oh, you know what? It's gotta be Miss Elizabeth, right? So that's gonna do it for this video about Louisiana Card Con and vending at it, and you know what it was like for me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back and check out some more videos. Let me know what you thought about the show. Have you ever been to that one, or have you gone to another card show and you loved that? I don't know. Just let me know what you're thinking. Until next time, everybody be cool.